Hey, what's up, Crypto Army? I'm Travis, your crypto newbie, bringing you my experiences. You have to learn things the hard way. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of my content should be used as financial advice. So today we're going to talk about Terra Luna. A couple days ago, I put out a video about UST, which is the stable coin of Terra Luna's platform. Obviously, it's still not doing very well. It's down to like 20 cents right now when it should be $1. But that doesn't mean there's not opportunities, but you have to be very, very cautious if you're thinking about investing in either Terra Luna or UST. But we're going to talk more about Terra Luna in this video because I think there's some opportunities here. Just realize that what I'm describing is it's kind of like gambling on a roulette wheel. So a lot of risk for what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Now, as you see, this is the Terra Luna's platform here. I'm going to put the link for everything I'm talking about in this video in the description to include the potential revival plan for Terra Luna, which you really need to understand what that means moving forward. Now, let's take a look at Terra Luna's price. So right now, we're at 3038. Now, depending on which platform you're looking at for buying Terra Luna, it might be lower, it might be higher. My experience has been that whatever's on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap is actually quite a bit higher than what you're going to see on the different trading platforms that are out there. So just keep that in mind. The best source for price data is going to be the exchanges that you're going to potentially buy Terra Luna at. But as you can see, it's up. And full disclosure, I had bought a little bit of this yesterday. And I joked about it on Twitter that I'd probably put the money between my couch into this project because we don't know what's going to happen. It's uncertain. I'm fairly certain that Terra Luna will survive this. Now, if you're not familiar with it, Ethereum actually had a very similar situation a few years back. And one of the proposed solutions is almost the exact same thing that Ethereum did. So you just need to be aware that this isn't the first time this has happened. And if we look at the 7-day, you can see that it is down significantly. 7 days ago, we're looking at $73. Now, yesterday it was closer to 403 or 407, depending on when you were looking at it. So it went down significantly yesterday. But again, if we look at the 1 day, we're up. And if we go up here and take a look at some of the statistics for this one, you can see the circulating supply is massive. We're talking trillions of tokens. They basically dumped a lot of tokens into the market to try to stabilize UST because you're supposed to be able to trade USD pack for Luna and get $1 essentially back. So if it's 20 cents, you're supposed to be able to get $1 worth of Luna. So they kind of had to do something. Fortunately, they halted trading a couple times, but it resulted in a massive amount of tokens. And if we're looking at the market cap, you can see that we're coming up on $3 billion market cap, with over $4 billion in trading volume. Depending on which platform you're looking at, these numbers are going to vary a little bit. But those are massive numbers. Now with the $2 billion or $2.5 billion market cap and this massive circulating supply, you can see they have to come up with a plan to fix this because these numbers moving forward just aren't practical. So if you're investing into this and expecting to do like 1,000x or 100,000x or turn $1,000 into $1 million, it's probably going to be unlikely just based off the numbers for the market cap and the circulating supply. It's just going to be a very challenging approach. But that doesn't mean there's not opportunities, and I'm up significantly since my investment yesterday. I didn't invest a lot, but I've gone up pretty good amount. And I bought pretty close to all-time low. So right now, everything that it goes up is just gravy. I'm making money pretty well, but will it continue to go up? I don't know. How much will it go up? I don't know. I can tell you that these numbers, kind of a challenge. So you're probably not going to see $1, I can tell you that. You might see it drop another 0, maybe, but I still think that's a pretty challenging thing to get to without burning a massive amount of the supply. And again, I don't know what the final solution is going to be, so maybe that's what they do, but that's kind of what they need to do. So what is the plan? Now, if we look at this right here, and again, I'll put this link in there. This is one of the plans that's getting a lot of steam out there. And for good reason. This basically resets the clock back a few days before the collapse, which is a good thing. And it essentially, all of the holders would be brought back up to closer to whole. At least if you had like $30,000 before, it's worth pennies now, maybe. It's pretty close to nothing. This would actually recoup a lot of the holders' value of what they're currently holding. But this plan here essentially forks the contract. So if you bought after this depegging event, you're pretty much out of luck. So this is the gambling. You really, if you're thinking about investing in Terra Luna, you really need to pay attention to what the plan is and make sure that you sell before this. Now, if they end up doing the burning approach, then you might see significant increases along with everybody here. But you're going to see a much greater increase in your value than the people that held from when it was about $80. That's just how it's going to work if they go with that approach. I think the most likely approach is that they're going to use this, that they're actually going to reset the network back to before the first depegging event, or some approach similar to that. And again, this is actually very similar to what Ethereum did a few years ago. And you can see that Ethereum has recovered, obviously. It's doing pretty well. And that's why I want to emphasize the Terra Luna network, because the network itself is pretty good. And if we go up here and take a look at the ecosystem for a second, let's take a look at all the apps. Now, Terra Luna and UST are getting a lot of the news coverage, but every one of these projects that's launched on their blockchain is down significantly because, again, they're on this blockchain. That's why I think that Terra Luna will find a way to move forward and fix this issue, because they've got all these projects and all these holders of these projects that are essentially sitting on nothing right now. Now, every project had a different result from what happened with Terra Luna, but I can tell you that I looked at a lot of these projects and pretty much all of them are worth zero right now. So there's a lot of people out there beyond just the investors in Terra Luna that got impacted by this. So don't think that it stopped just with Terra Luna. This is actually a much bigger problem than just Terra Luna or UST. We're talking about massive numbers of holders that were impacted by what happened with the blockchain. But this is one of the reasons why I think that they're going to fix it. It might not be a fix that you like if you're an investor that bought after the depegging event, essentially bought when the price dropped significantly. But again, there's some money that can be made. I'm making a decent amount of money right now off of it, but I'm going to plan my departure from Terra Luna to coincide with whatever the plan they come up with. Now, if they end up going with a burning approach, then I'll make out like a bandit on the ridiculous number of Terra Luna coins I was able to buy. I just don't think that's the approach they're going to go with. They're going to try to fix the issue for their holders that existed before the price dropped. If I was a betting person, that's what I would bet on. Now let's take a look at the whole market. Now, as you can see, we've actually seen a little bit of an increase in Bitcoin as well as across the board on other tokens. Now, it did drop after my last video. I said, I think it's going to continue to go down, and it continued to go down. It didn't go down too much more, but there's still a lot of uncertainty in the market. And if you look at the fear and greed index, you can see we're at 9 right now. That's pretty low. That's incredibly low. But when it's low like this, that's a great opportunity to buy in, and then you usually see a reset. But there's so much going on right now inside of the crypto market that it might take a little while for us to start seeing that growth upwards. I actually don't think it's impossible that the prices are going to go down again. I could actually see us hitting 23,000 for Bitcoin, or even a little bit lower. That's kind of where I'm thinking it's going to go, but we'll see. And there's a lot of people predicting that it's going to go even lower than that. I'm not sure about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dropped down to around 23,000. I think what happened with Terra Luna and UST really created a lot of uncertainty in the market. Not to mention, we've got the potential for regulation from the federal government now, although, again, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. That's it for today's video. Hopefully you found the content helpful. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Terra Luna? Are you going to invest in it and take a chance? Or are you going to wait for the dust to settle and then jump into it? Now, don't forget, if you like my content, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications to get notified. Until next time, stay strong with those diamond hands.